Guys, welcome into a Finance After Dark live stream here. And if you're new to me, my name's Chris. I'm a corporate accountant for over a decade. I'm now a money coach helping people in their own personal finances. And I wanted to make this live stream around one specific topic that I think is really, really important. After working with a bunch of people in their own personal finances, there's really a couple things that slow people down. And one of the things that slow people down that I see the most is the why. The why behind doing it. Like, why are you doing the thing that you're trying to do? And I just think this is really important because I've worked with a lot of people who are excited in the beginning because they think there's going to be this change in their personal finances. And the truth is, if you don't have a big enough carrot dangling out in front of you, then it's not going to be as, you're not going to be able to stick with it as long. Or if you're not doing something sustainable for a long period of time, you're not going to stick with it, right? So if, we're talking about personal finances, I talk about budgeting a lot on this channel. And if you were to, like, in theory, like on a extremely crazy basis, like just cut all of your expenses, you moved out of your house, you stopped eating food, like that would not be sustainable, right? Of course. So I wanted to talk about two of the why stories. Like what were some of my whys as I was going through a journey of I was living paycheck to paycheck. I had tens of thousands of dollars in debt. I had no financial goals, and this was over 10 years ago, and I was just kind of, the only thing I really cared about was, paying the bills and keeping my calendar busy on the weekend or, with friends and family. And I used to think in like days and weeks back then, and now I think in decades. So I just kind of want to share some of that that I've kind of learned along the way. And as I've been working with people in their personal finances, like what has worked for them, and just kind of share. But there's really two stories that stick out to me of when I understood what my why was. That's when everything changed for me. Okay, so back in the day, it was, again, we're talking 10 years ago plus, paycheck to paycheck, tens of thousands of dollars of debt. Okay, and my car just had crapped out. Okay, and I obviously needed a new one, right? Like most people do to get around to work and all this other stuff. So I was picking it up on a Saturday, and I'm going to place us in the Friday of that week. And what ended up happening was I was sitting at my desk. It was the end of the day. It was like 2-3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. I was going to pick up that car Saturday afternoon. It was a brand new car, okay? And my heart sunk because I for some reason, I was just like, oh my God, do I even have enough money in my bank account to give the car dealership the check, the deposit that I told them that I had, right? So I scrambled. I looked at my bank account and, hey, hey, Ezra. Sorry, my eyes are a little squinty at this time of night. And I looked, and I was $1,500 short of the deposit that I needed. And I panicked. I was just like, oh my God, this was at the time, it was the biggest purchase of my life that I ever made. And meanwhile, I had gone to college for accounting. I was telling myself how great I was with numbers and, finance stuff and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, like, I was just not living up to the person that I was telling myself that I was. So I ended up somehow, my girlfriend at the time, my now wife, she somehow had $1,500. I'm not really sure how she had that because we were both very poor. So I don't know how she had that. Yes, I ended up paying her back. But by the time the money was going to come to my account, it wasn't going to be there for the next day, right? So I went to the dealership, tail between my legs. I gave them the check that I knew wouldn't cash. And I was like, please just wait a couple days, please. They didn't love it, and they ended up doing it. I ended up driving the car off the lot. And I would imagine, let me know in the chat if you guys are watching now, have you ever bought a new car or like a used car, just like a different car than what you've had? Was it really exciting? Maybe driving off the lot or driving off wherever you bought it from, like playing around with the new car on the way home, like maybe doing some gadgets, seeing how fast it could go, right? That was not my experience because I was just like furious with myself, that I would get to that point where I didn't even know how much money was in my bank account. So this was one of my whys. And this is where I drew a line in the sand. And I was like, never again am I not going to know just how much money's in my bank account. And it really sort of started this huge, I don't know, journey for me, like a personal finance journey where I just wanted to keep getting better and wanted to keep gaining more knowledge, and I wanted to improve myself. So literally, I held a promise that the next 30 days after that, I was going to wake up and I was just going to check my bank account, and that's all I was going to do. Right. So I woke up, I checked it. I ended up doing this for 60 plus days, to be honest with you. And then it got to a point where I was like, okay, this is great and all, but why am I doing this? Right? Like, why am I checking my bank account? And I kind of learned along the way that like you keep finding a new why. So in the beginning, the why was like, yeah, you don't even know how much money's in your bank account, so let's figure that out. But then it was like, okay, why am I even doing this anymore? Like, I've built up the habit. Now why am I doing this? It's like, well, I'm doing this to figure out like, you know, I guess, is my money going up or down, or like what's going on in my finances and my bank account? And I was like, well, if I need to figure that out, I probably need more information than just how much money is in my bank account. So then that led to, okay, is it going up or down at the end of the month, right? Like, am I making money in the bank account? Is it going down? And then that turned into, well, I should probably figure out the types of expenses, or, you know, the different categories that are making up the bulk of my expenses and like, and everything like that. And it just turned into full-fledged budgeting. So it all started with me not knowing what was in my bank account. And I've been budgeting ever since. So we're talking 10 plus years. And it was all about just figuring out what the why was along the way. So if you're sitting there with your personal finances and maybe you're not satisfied, it could be better, right? Maybe you're like slightly living paycheck to paycheck. Maybe you have some debt and you've tried to do things, but it hasn't really worked out. I really want you to take a hard look at the why behind it, because maybe it's just not strong enough, to be quite honest with you, because every new thing seems so shiny and awesome, right? Like everything. But then like the shininess wears off, the cool thing wears off, and you're just stuck with the thing. And it's like, well, why am I even doing this? Like, what's the whole point? Because at the end of the day, like, our time is super valuable. Our life is very valuable, right? So the things in our life that we were like, why am I even doing this? You're just going to cut immediately, because I have more important things to be doing than something I'm saying is not valuable. So we have to, if you're saying it's valuable and you want to do it, you have to dangle a better why in front of you. So that was kind of story number one. And story number two happened around, 6 years ago. My wife and I, we were still in tens of thousands of dollars of debt. We had kind of, I would say, figured out the personal finance thing, but we were just being super, super lazy when it came to our debt. We were making minimum payments, and maybe if we got like a bonus or something at the end of the year or whatever, we would throw a little extra money towards it. But really, it was just kind of an afterthought. And it became a situation where we were talking a little more seriously about having kids, and we just kind of did a full audit of our life. We're like, what things in our life could be problematic for when our first kid comes, right? And now we have two, which is amazing. But everything in our life pointed to the debt, and we're like, this, we got to get rid of this debt. So we drew another line in the sand, right? This is going to be a recurring theme. It's like, okay, this is really important to us, but why? It's like, well, the why is we feel like if we were, consumer debt free, we still had a mortgage, but if we were, credit card, student loans, blah, 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 all that we were debt free, then we would feel less stress on our back when we like brought a new person into this world, like one less thing to worry about. Right. So if you guys are watching now, like, what's your why in your personal finances? What is something that is really keeping you going? What is your why of maybe saving more money or paying off your debt or budgeting all the time, or like, because none of these things are like super fun and enjoyable, but like what, there has to be a bigger thing that you're doing this for. So what is it? If you're watching this now, like I'd love to hear from you. Like let me know. Because I found that so I am a corporate accountant by day and I'm a money coach by night. That's why I'm doing this Finance After Dark little live stream. I'm helping people with their personal finances, not only on this channel, but in my free personal finance community. It's called Dollar Discipline University. And in there, I'm taking free strategy calls with any new member that joins. And a lot of times that turns into free sort of ongoing calls. And everything in that community is free, including my time right now, which is awesome. But I'm working with people who are like ecstatic to like start like making a change in their personal finances, and they see what they have to like do or change in their life or their process with their finances, and the excitement kind of goes away because it's like, oh wow, this is like a miserable task, or it's boring, or whatever, and it's not, it's obviously not a fun task, but it's their why wasn't strong enough, and their, I don't know, dedication, their, I don't know, maybe it wasn't like truly an important thing in their life. Because anything that's super important that's happened in my life, I've always kind of moved other stuff around. I've cut other things out of it. Like, I don't know. I can't think of an example. Well, obviously, like my family, right? But like families, jobs, or this, doing live streams like this, like some of this stuff is just a non-negotiable. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Like, is there a non-negotiable in your personal finances? Is there something that no matter what, you're just gonna stop doing other things to do the thing in your personal finances? So for me right now, it's helping other people in their personal finances. Like I'm in that free community every single day talking to people. I'm taking calls weekly with people in there. It's awesome, and seeing the messages that people are sending, and knowing where they started from and seeing where they are now, it's awesome. It's so cool to be a part of that. And again, I haven't asked anyone for a penny, right? I'm just doing it for free right now because I'm not new to personal finances, kind of like I've been mentioning earlier. But if you're just joining me, so my name's Chris. I've been a corporate accountant for over a decade, and now I'm a money coach as well, helping people in their personal finances. So I'm not new to the personal finance game. My wife and I, we paid off $43,000 of debt in just over a year. But I'm new to like kind of the, I guess, content business side of it. So I just want to help people out for free, because every person's finances it's a new puzzle, right? It's a completely new puzzle, and it's really fun to kind of play with the pieces and see everything going on. So I'll take a break here. Is there anyone in here that you guys have like, what's your why? I guess is kind of what I want to say. What's your why? I'd love to see you guys chat it up. If not, I have some other things that I definitely want to talk about. Some common mindset mistakes, I guess, that people make, that I see people make. And I just want to like either break a belief or just help you kind of maybe think differently about certain things. So I'll jump into those now. One thing that comes up a lot, and it's kind of surprising, is for some reason, people think that they think that they'll just start saving later when they earn more money. Like, oh yeah, once I like get this promotion, I'm definitely gonna start saving more money. Or once I, in like a couple of years, once my life kind of calms down, I'm really gonna focus on my personal finance. And it's just like, if you make an income, you can start saving money like instantly, because the truth is that saving is a habit. It's not a financial milestone where it's like, oh hey, I'm gonna I don't know, retire. Oh, hey, I'm gonna save money. It's like that's not the same thing. Like retiring and having enough money to retire is like a financial milestone. A lot of people want to have, enough to retire, obviously, but saving is like it's literally a habit. Um, so a lot of times when I'm working with people in their personal finances and they have no savings, which I see a lot, and I'm really big on what I call, it's a framework I call the power of $100. And it's really based around the idea of, okay, no matter what financial goal you're doing, so paying off debts, saving money, whatever, if we added an extra $100 to that thing every single month, like especially with debt, that's ridiculous. And I can go over that in another Finance After Dark live stream. But even just building up the habit, like, so if you've never saved it before, or you kind of save sort of, but then it goes away when you jump into it, you use the money for stuff. I would challenge you to, how can you find a way to save $100 in the month of June, right? So June is starting soon, in a couple days. How can you find an extra $100 in your personal finances and start saving? So someone that I was working with, he got paid weekly, which is fine, right? He had a variable income, and I think that was sort of his mindset, where it's like, oh, it's variable, so I don't want to put money aside if I need it for like a bill or groceries, whatever. And it was like, okay, so you get paid 4 times a week and you have no savings. What if, crazy thought, what if we just we save $25 every single paycheck? So every paycheck that you get, we set up some automated thing, either from your employer or just like instantly in your bank account, that it just goes into a savings account. And that way it's the first dollars to leave your paycheck. And then the rest of the week, you kind of figure out the other expenses that you have. But it's like, instead of just thinking of this huge thing of like, oh, I have no savings, like, I don't know what I'm doing here. You think about it like, how can I just make small incremental steps right now? And how can I start doing the thing? So I think people get too worked up with like trying to optimize their personal finances perfectly, trying to be in like the most optimal thing with interest rates or whatever. And like, sure, that's like great, and that could be another step down the line. But like, you have to just start somewhere. And if you're just joining me, I was talking about a story before where I didn't even know how much money was in my bank account over 10 years ago. And I literally, the only thing I did for the next 2 months in my personal finances was just look at my bank account balance every single day. That was it. That was just me building up a habit because I hadn't done that before. So the person I was working with, I suggested this to him. I was like, hey, why don't you just try $25 a week? And he's like, oh, $25 a week, that's like nothing. And I was like, you're absolutely right. The $25 a week is not going to make you rich at all. It's not sexy. It's super boring. But I was like, you have nothing in savings. So imagine starting this month with zero savings, and then you saved money 4 times in the month. And then at the end of the month, you have $100. He's like, yeah, no, you're right. So it's just like building up the habit. And you don't need a certain amount of income to save. I think a lot of people think that, if they have low income, they have a harder time saving, which might be true. But I challenge you to kind of look at your personal finances in a process, sort of, if you do a budget. I like to look at a process called the 3-month look back. And basically what that is we want to look at our expenses 3 months, the last 3 months of expenses, to kind of see every single dollar that we spent. And then there we have our historical data of where our money's been going. And then you can look at it and be like, oh, that's why I can't save $100, or that's why I can't put an extra $100 towards debt, because I'm doing this, that, and the other thing, right? Whatever. So it just gives, the more information that we can get, the better everything can be and the easier everything can be. So yeah, I'll start saving later when I earn more. I'd like to challenge that belief. And what's really kind of funny is that income literally has nothing to do with personal finances. It's like, sure, maybe it's a factor, but like, there are stats out there that about a third of Americans making $200,000 that were polled say that they consider themselves living paycheck to paycheck. $200,000. One third of those people say they live paycheck to paycheck, meaning like if they lost their job, they would be in trouble in like one or two pay cycles, right? Which is just crazy. And then, I mean, so I've worked with people making over $100,000 that are in a ton of debt. They have no financial goals, and there's just there's no plan. And I've also worked with people that make around $50,000 and they're debt free. They're contributing money towards their financial goals every single month, and those people are seemingly I don't want to say happier, because I don't want to say that I know everything that's happening in their life, right? But they're, in terms of their personal finance, if you were to rank them from 1 out of 10, the 50K person would have felt way stronger than the 100 plus K person that I've worked with, right? That was in a ton of debt. So a couple other examples why saving later when I earn more just doesn't make any sense is because you would never say, well, actually some people do, and it's silly, I'll go to the gym, but I have to get in shape first, right? It's kind of like saying the same thing. It's like, I can't go to the gym right now and I'm not in good enough shape. It's like, what are we talking about? Like, the gym is the thing that gets us in shape. So saving is the thing that helps build habits. And again, saving isn't sexy. Saving won't make us rich because it's different. I'm not talking about like investing. Saving and investing are very different. Similar concept, but different ideation, whatever. Right. And the other kind of example that I like to talk about is someone saying, I'll be good at basketball as soon as I become 6'8". Like, once that day comes, I'm 6'8", boom, I'm going to be awesome at basketball. It's like, that's not how it works. You have to be good at basketball first. And then 6'8" becomes relevant when you're playing basketball. Right. But you guys kind of get the point of that. If you guys are watching, like, what do you think about any of that? Like, is anything holding you back from saving more money next month? Like, I challenge you for the month of June. Like, how can we save more money in June than we did in May or April or March, right? Another lie people like to tell. Sorry about that. This is truly almost past my bedtime, so just give me sorry about that. The next kind of thing that people, maybe it's like a limiting belief or an excuse, but I see it a lot. It's that when people say that they don't have time to track their finances, and to me this is just a little funny because the last time that I checked, everyone has the same 24 hours in a day, right? So if you're someone, or because I've been here before, like, I'm talking to older me, previous me in this. But like, if you don't like where your finances are right now, then you're just not spending enough time with it, because there are things that we're doing in our lives that we are spending time on. So however we allocate our time, our money, our resources, our effort, our sacrifices, those are the things that we're telling ourselves that matter the most. So back in the day, like my wife and I, we used to watch so many shows, like so many shows. It would be like, we'd get, home from work, go to the gym, come back, and we'd watch TV for like 4 hours. We just had like no, so for us, it was like, we, looking back at it now, it was so silly. We were wasting a sixth of our life, like, watching shows. I don't know, just nuts. Probably not 4 hours a night, but you know what I'm saying. And it was just like, we were wasting so much time. So between sleeping and watching like Netflix, we were just wasting so much of our life. But anyway, I'm getting angry just kind of thinking about it. But yeah, like, we all have time to move stuff around. So when my wife and I were paying off $43,000 of debt, and we did that in just over a year, when we first started drawing that line in the sand, like, no, we got to figure this out. We ended up just spending like 5-10 minutes a month. We had this very, very formal meeting, just kidding, on our couch in our living room. We just had our laptop out, we had a spreadsheet, and we basically just went through each of the loan items that we had and we just updated the amount. It was a very rinky dinky spreadsheet. It was not good. I would not recommend, I mean, if you're not doing anything, I would recommend doing that. But inside my free personal finance community, I have a very modern debt payment calculator that I share with people. But anyway, so we just went through this file, and every month, so I had debt that was just in my name. She had debt just in her name. We had debt that was shared. It was a complete disaster. And we had to sort of spend time making sure that, because we shared a bank account, we had all these debts all over the place. So we had to make sure that one of us wasn't, spending money on the debt, a debt that wasn't prioritized or whatever, because we didn't want both of us sucking money out of the bank account, accidentally and being in trouble there. So we kind of just had to talk like, okay, what's the priority debt or debts for the month, and how are we gonna move forward? So every month, we literally took a few minutes, and I think some of the people that I work with in their personal finances are excited at first with budgeting, and then a couple months go by and it falls off the wagon. So because what was happening is they would be sitting there and they did it like monthly. They kind of did it after the fact. So I like to recommend doing it weekly, at least to start, like once a week. And the amount of time that you would have to spend on it once a week would be, I don't know how many transactions you have, but like 30 minutes, like in the week, just like going through all the transactions, updating your budget, updating everything. And really an ideal situation is like every time you make a purchase, you just kind of, if you have an app, especially, it's a lot easier. Just you pop in there and you just kind of enter like, okay, groceries, $100, boom, gas, $40, boom. So instead of having this like big lift of like, oh, at the end of the month, oh God, I got to spend hours going through my finances to look at my budget and all this other stuff. It's like, allocate your time a little differently. And again, this is me talking to me, because this is kind of what I did as I was progressing through my personal finances, the budgeting process, etc. But I also think with this like time thing, maybe it's a good idea to do some sort of time audit with your life. And that sounds really, really intense. But what I mean is like, you don't have to block it into like 15-minute intervals, but it's just like, hey, every hour, what did you do in that hour? And then you can kind of look and see, like if this was me and my wife, we would look back and we would see these huge chunks of just like Netflix or like TV shows that we were watching. And it's like, okay, so we do have 30 minutes a week to look at our budget, right? So again, I don't like to tell people what to do, but it's like, if you look at where you're spending your time, money, effort, sacrifice, all this other stuff, those are the things that you're telling yourself matter the most. So if you want to change that, we have to kind of take some of those things out to put new things in. Does that make sense for anyone? You guys jiving with that? Awesome. My throat is like done here. But this is Finance After Dark, so we got to keep going here. So another kind of maybe a limiting belief or a mindset shift that I'd love to kind of persuade some of you on, because I know that this thought is out there. And that thought is that budgets, we're talking about the B word again, are too restrictive. Too restrictive budgets. And I challenge you on that thought. And I think a lot of people think that, once you start budgeting, it instantly means that you have to start cutting all of your expenses out. And I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. I like to think about budgeting as just being intentional with what we're doing with our money, because, okay, we all make an income. So the income needs to be the amount of money that we can spend every month. And no, I don't mean all of it at like Amazon, but it's like We go through our need items, right? Here's a good framework to think about for budgeting. I have kind of two of them. One, if we make a certain amount of money every month, we need to know kind of before the month starts where each of those dollars is going to go. So let's say you have a fixed income. It works for variable too. It's a little more, it moves around a little more. But let's say you have a fixed income. Let's say you make $5,000 a month. Okay. Before the month starts, you know that you're going to make $5,000 next month. So how do we allocate the $5,000 to all the stuff in our life? Okay. And there's a really good kind of budgeting strategy, I guess we'll call it. It's kind of a framework. It's kind of just like a rough draft, but it's called the 50-30-20 budgeting strategy. And basically what that is we want to think about our expenses in buckets. So 50 is for need items. So 50% of our income should be going towards these need items. So we're thinking like, mortgage or rent, utilities, groceries, like things that we literally need to live on every day, every month. And then 30% of your income is going to want items. So think things like, buying things off Amazon or going to the movies. The movies, do people do that anymore? But you know what I mean? Like activities, things that you don't literally need to do, but you want to do, and that's fine. And then there's 20% of our income should be going towards financial goals, right? So saving money, paying off debt, etc. A really, really cool mindset shift that helped me kind of progress through everything was, what if this happened a lot for me where it was like, I would go through the month and I had all these plans and intentions to do something with my personal finances. Like, I'd really love to put more money aside this month. I'd love to put more money towards debt and make something happen there. I'd love to start this like retirement thing, whatever. And then the end of the month happens and it's like, oh wow, where'd all my money? I have no money to do the things that I said. It was because I was lumping all of my life expenses into just one bucket. So it was like, okay, all my need items and my want items, I'm doing those. And then it's like whatever's left over, that's the financial goal. And then there was never anything left over. The financial goals were getting the scraps, the absolute scraps. So it's like, okay, what if I flip this around? What if I automate my financial goals? And now they're essentially the first thing getting taken out of my income, right? So we have our need items still, and then we have the financial goals. And then whatever's left is now the want items. And maybe this is controversial, and there's some people that, wouldn't like that, they want to do what they want to do, or they, whatever. And that's fine. But just know that like the more you prioritize a financial goal, the faster it's going to happen. Every dollar that you put towards a financial goal, you're slowly pulling your financial future closer to you. So again, saving money, paying off debt, like whatever it is. Is this making sense for you guys watching? Are you jiving with this right now? My throat is like destroyed here. I probably have like a few more minutes. Do you guys like the Finance After Dark show? I think I'm going to be doing this. I don't know. I'm going to create a habit. I've been talking about this all night with personal finances, but for this, I'm going to just do this every night through June. I'm just gonna see what happens. So if you guys keep liking this, if you're watching this now, make sure to subscribe and that way I don't know if you get notified. I don't know. But just if you like stuff like this and you like kind of the vibe that's happening here, I'm gonna be doing this for a while just to kind of see what we can do, see how we can get more people into the personal finance realm, the community, right? And just see how many people that we can help, because again, I just truly enjoy trying to help others take steps that I took previously and to avoid any like missteps that I took. Again, I've been say like budgeting for over 10 years. I made a ton of mistakes. It was like a super long process. Um, I was super lazy paying off debt, and I wish I could go back time. I wish I could go back 15 years and just do my 20s like all over again. But I can't. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm trying to like help other people. So, I'm in my mid 30s now, but however old you are, it's like we can't go back. We can't go back and undo anything. So now we just have to sit here and try to progress forward of where we are, where we are now to where we want to be. So yeah, I probably have like one more little nugget for you guys, and then I'm gonna go. I gotta go to bed. It's past my bedtime. It is finance after dark, but it's not like it's not too dark. We're not. Yeah, it's not gonna get. Yeah, it's not too late, right? Um, I'm an early riser, so that's why I like to get to bed. But so another sort of mindset shift that I'd love to chat with you guys about, and I think a lot of people could get value from this because a lot of people think that they can't save money with their current expenses. And I've heard this a lot, helping people with their personal finances. They're like, oh, with my lifestyle, I can't save money right now, or I don't make enough to save or whatever. And it's still like, okay. So the first question I would usually ask people is like, what have you tried? Because when I've done that, it's just and this was me back in the day that I used to do this too. Just like you make up an excuse for why it's not happening instead of like just trying to do something. You're blaming an outside force or factor. Um, so I just think that's really important to like take ownership of like, oh, okay, so I don't think I can save with my current expenses. It's like, well, are all of your expenses like an absolute priority? It's like, or do you prioritize the expenses over the savings, right? Because we only have so many resources. We only have so much money, and we need to prioritize our money the best way possible. And the way I like to think about this is something called the North Star goals. And kind of what I like to think about is like, okay, what's the most important things in your life right now, whether it's money stuff or other stuff? Um, what's the list of the most important things right now, and what's the list of the most important things that you would maybe like to accomplish in the future? Write all of those things down. It's a great exercise. So it could be as little as two things. It can be as many as 20 things. Okay, and then what I've done in the past and what I like to still do is use that list as a filter for everything in my life. So again, it's not just money, but it's like, am I spending the right amount of time on all this stuff? Am I spending the right amount of money in all this stuff? Because I think with like budgeting, for example, people think that when you start a budget, you just instantly have to cut all of your categories. But I would challenge you to say, after you do the North Star goal list, you might find some things on that North Star goal list where you actually aren't spending enough money. And the example I like to use a lot is like health and fitness, for example. Let's say you had something on there where I don't know, you want it to be healthy and fit, right? Whatever, something super generic, but you would want it to be better than that. It's too late for me to think of a good example. And then you look at your spending habits and you're like, oh wow, the last 3 months I'm only averaging $40 a month for my health and fitness. Like I have a gym membership and then I buy like I don't know, supplement, and that's basically it. It's like, well, I'm telling myself it's on this list here, the North Star goal list. Like the most important thing to me, one of them is my health and fitness. So maybe I need to double or triple the amount of money that I'm spending in health and fitness category to get to say $100, $120, like take more classes, do more supplements, whatever. And then other things that aren't on this list, that's what I sacrifice. I take out like the unnecessary purchases at Amazon. I remove the Uber Eats delivery, right? I remove things that aren't critical because you told yourself it wasn't because it's not on your North Star goal list. That's why it's like the North Star goals are the North Star, right? And to put it, to put it better, but it's such a great way to prioritize things and again filter not just money stuff but time. Okay, am I putting enough effort into trying to reach these future North Star goals? Or am I spending too much time doing the TV thing? Am I spending too much time, I don't know, doing things that aren't positively influencing these North Star goals? And that's the thing. So if they're positively influencing the North Star goals, we need to do more of that thing. If they're neutral or negatively impacting North Star goals, maybe we need to reevaluate doing that thing or buying that thing. And that's just really how I like to think about it. What do you guys think about that watching now? The North Star goals. Do you have a North Star goal list? What would be the first thing on your North Star goal list that you would put on it? I'd love to know. I mean, for me, it's like it would have to be my family stuff. I have 2 little kids, so just making sure that they're like set for right now and they're set for the future, and also like that we keep them busy because my God, they're at 4 and 1, so it's just the age of just chaos. But yeah, after that, honestly, it's like before anything else, it's so my family, and then also like my health and fitness would be one of them. We have goals to, we're funding like our kids' future education. We're working on that goal. We really want to pay off our mortgage a lot faster than the standard 30 years. So we're working towards that. And yeah, it's just like we're always kind of reevaluating like are these things still worth it? And it's like you keep looking at the list and you keep adjusting things, you put things in, you take things out, and it's just so important to keep that list up to date because at the end of the day, like we only have one of these lives. We only have one. And we have to make sure that we're trying to like optimize for things. Again, it's not just money. That's what worked for me. So I'm gonna leave on that nugget because it's 10 p.m. My alarm gets off at 4:00 in the morning because I got stuff to do before I do my stuff when the kids are sleeping. That's one of my things. So I'm gonna go. But again, if you like this style of live stream, the kind of the vertical live stream, finances after dark, subscribe. And I'm gonna be doing this through June at least, just to kind of see how it works. Every single night. I don't know what time, so sorry about that. It's gonna be variable time, but yeah, I'd love to see you in the next stream, and hopefully, tell your friends. We'll get the chat going, and we'll be going for the next 30 days. If you are someone who is trying to maybe improve your personal finances or make a change, or you don't even know how to start, like you're trying to save more money, you're trying to pay off debt, and you don't know what to do or how to do it or whatever, I have a free personal finance community, Dollar Discipline University. It's in the description of this live stream. It's kind of clunky to get to it though. Thanks YouTube, but it's the link on my channel page as well. Come check it out. Everything's free. You get a free strategy call with me. And it's a lot of fun in there. So I'm going to jump off. Have a great night, guys. And, I'll see you tomorrow.